What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today with a very special video. I actually made a meme PvP PvE team around a hero I showed a few days earlier, which is this Valentino. We got a beautiful copy of this Valentino with B+ in attack and HP, and actually A tier speed with 67 speed and super juicy bonus stats, control unity, offset, control precision. I bought that off the auction house quite some time ago, never really got to build Valentino, but now I did it. We enhanced him to V4. He sadly can't be a homeowner. The H didn't implement the function to make him homeowner. He's one of the few heroes that can be V4 but can't be homeowner. We could put 3 levels on him but can't get that back. We got the video games Storm skin on him, which of course that has damage reduction. The other one sadly does not. And the reason we use him, oh no, I clicked it away, is actually this passive skill. Whenever an ally releases skills, deals 330% damage against a random enemy and has a 30% chance to stun it for 2 rounds. So basically, we don't use it for the 330% attack damage, we use it for the stun and hope for a lot of stun. And with that, pretty much a second Starving Jaracore. He behaves like a second Starving Jaracore in that every single hero on our team that attacks has a chance to stun. And I want to run it against one of the strongest teams that I know. That doesn't focus too much on speed. That is important because this team that I made up here is rather slow. Use 3 Receptors, only 3 Snow Huts, no Rogues, so that is pretty slow. And again, focusing on the Starving Jaracore, we'll go a bit more into detail later on. And we will run that against Daiko, because Daiko is like one of the strongest players in the game. I make a stream once a month where we actually watch the IDA Battle of the Best Championship. And he's like always in the final and pretty much always winning. So that is like the strongest guy. Obviously, that's just his defensive lineup. That is not his actual or current lineup. It is just a very strong team that he set up a while back. So does by no means reflect his current strength. So keep that in mind. Still, I want to send this team against him because it is an insanely strong team that he has still. And want to see what Valentino can do. So I would mainly tell you to watch out for any stuns. Here we have one on Ferrocin Vesa, the Sai is stunned, the Vulcan is stunned, and we have 3 stuns already. And slowly chipping away here, which is quite nice. Obviously the perceptual disorder here, quite devastating. And now it's just the Ezreal left, and we basically CC'd this entire team all the way through. Though he still got to deal some damage, which is quite insane. His team can deal damage even though nobody attacked. And what I always like about fighting him is the attack damage my heroes do. I think it's quite interesting how flawlessly this Starving Jara lines in with the other heroes, even though she isn't a homeowner. All of those other heroes that did a lot of damage are homeowners, and he isn't. One thing about Valentino, we saw that he had an impact on the fight. He did a lot of stuns, which was quite nice. The damage, though, 33 million. He was out-damaged by Phoenix. And he was out-damaged by a dead hero from and a support hero. So his damage is like so bad. His damage is really so bad. It's like one of the worst things I've ever seen. I'm not quite sure why, but it's pretty bad. Let's fight another team as well. Let's find something that is pretty strong. I think that's a good idea. Or what do you say? He got an SS Mockman. We got an B+ Valentino. I think that is pretty equal. Let's see what Mr. Ragnarok can do against our team. Let's hope I don't lose. Oh, again, we got the first stun here on the Star Alchemist home. Half of the team already gone. Another stun here. Still stunned. And now we just got the Vulcan left, which is petrified and stunned. So I would say it was a rather solid win. Again, Valentino is... I mean, he's not enabling us to win against such teams. This is mostly a synergy of the LFA and the Starving Jara speed. But he's certainly making it easier for us to win because the enemies can't really break out. The reason that is the case, and now we want to go into the details a bit more, is the way Purify works. And that is a mechanic that this team, well, abuses. Well, I can't really abuse it, but uses to an extent that is quite insane. When a round ends, 100% removes one random control from itself. So it can only remove one type of control. So if you're stunned and petrified, either one of those is removed unless one of them ends at this turn. When one of them ends, the other one is removed, and then you're no longer CC'd. Which you would see if we had a team with armor in the enemy team that we could fight, then every CC would be removed at the end of the turn anyway. But in that situation, once you have 2, 3, 4 control effects on the enemy, he won't break out in the next turn. So that is really something that is quite interesting and can be used in PvP to infinitely lock down enemies. Of course, you need to be fast enough for that. And as soon as the enemy basically invests into speed, well, I mean, I can show you. Let's find somebody that invests into speed. I think, yeah, okay, that can already be enough. Like a single roam can already be enough to absolutely murder this team. Just because as soon as we aren't faster than the enemy, we actually lose. So Obi, do your worst, kill us. And that Valentino is squishy as hell. That doesn't really want to survive our lot. Yeah. So this team definitely not made to fight fast teams, even though that would be nice. Yeah, and we don't get an active skill from starting. Oh, we got one, but now we get murdered. So yeah, Valentino can't survive being hit, and then he does like nothing. And then we get murdered by teams that have just one wrong, even worse when they have two and good speed on the heroes. So that really doesn't work. So this is more like a meme team. If the enemy doesn't have too much speed, that can work. But other than that, not. So the mechanics we actually use, I said, we use MFF mainly for her survivability that she grants us. A little bit of dodge, a little bit of all damage reduced, that is quite nice. Obviously, our Valentino, 70 million HP, which isn't too much. The roll, I showed it before, we got him 2v4. Some resonance gear that isn't rolled to him actually, a speed HP stone, and of course we have the receptor, which grants us an additional 50% control precision. On top of that, we have a little bit of control precision here, another 24. So now we have the two sources of control precision, actually 74% if we just sum it up. And then we have the control immunity offset that is obviously granted by the extra effect of the receptor here. 30% control immunity offset, then we have 9% here, and a bunch of control immunity offset, I think like, how much is it, like 40% control immunity offset, something around that on the star spawns. So we have a bunch of CC chance on this Valentino to actually make him worthwhile. And I think if you want to use him and get something from his effect, that is really, really important that you have good star spawns with CI offset, a good copy with control precision, and the receptor on him. His skills are weak. I have to say it like this. It's like speed 60, that's alright. He's stun immune, which is interesting. Just completely immune to stun. Doesn't really matter unless we fight something like a cruise team or something like that. HP plus 40, clip plus 30. What he would really need is the R. He has this passive. While below 80% HP increases 60% of damage reduction for 5 rounds, which doesn't help anymore. Usually that would be insane. 60% damage reduction is a ton. But doesn't really help when you get hit straight into Unbending Will. So having like no damage reduction innately, yeah, not very good. Not very good. He really doesn't have, I think he has no basic skill effect. So no effect that adjusts his basic skill. So his basic skill should be like deals 100% attack damage and nothing else. So that is pretty bad. And his active skill, yeah, I mean like, okay, 330%. It has some stun chances, which are quite alright. 100% chance to stun, that is good. The damage is negligible, so nothing too impressive here. An absolutely unimpressive basic skill. The only real good thing I see is this passive skill, but it's on meme level. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. There will be no Valentino meta, at least in the current state. If they could easily, in my opinion, buff him and adjust him a little bit and make him really worthwhile and make him a cool hero. Two things that I would want to see for that. They would have to take a part of that damage reduction and put it into his skills. I would want to see something like 30 to 40% damage reduction in here. If they put that in here and change this passive skill to be a real basic passive skill that adjusts his basic skill to like anything with a little bit of stun chance, with a decent chance to stun 2 heroes or something like that, then I could see that working. All of his numbers for the attack damage just have to go up, at least like triple them or something around that line, and then maybe we are talking, maybe that's interesting. I like the 60 speed, that's pretty cool. And he has to be able to be homeowner. A bunch of heroes aren't able to be homeowners. Heroes that are cool, like Valentino, like Oberon. They gave them the ability to be V4. They adjusted the skills a little bit so they can be V4. But they didn't put them into the homeowner system. So even if you have him V4, no option to make him homeowner. And I think that's quite sad, because some of those heroes that came with those later badges are quite cool. And so is Valentino. So are heroes like Oberon, like Godtier, and I would love to see them get a bit more love from the age, and maybe a little bit of readjustment, so we can put them into like meme teams like that and let them have a bit more meaning than they have at the moment. The CC, as I said, is quite nice, but we could use a Rogan instead. They have a faster team and basically win with that. Then we use LFA. LFA for the Fear Abyssal Gaze CC that also blocks the enemy from critting, so that's quite nice. Pretty fast one, 2,500 speed. We have a Star Swordsman Mockman for damage, 12.7 million attack, and then we have this wonderful Starwing Jara here that I newly acquired. Basically fully sublimed without basic skill, because that is not really that nice. That is a pretty nice copy. You still have to adjust the bonus stats a bit. I would rather have something along the lines of Defier, CI offset or control precision, and then skill damage. Skill damage is a huge damage multiplier. Giant Killer, as I mainly use for PvP, is not that useful. We have Ferrocene Vesa. Nothing too fancy here, just fully sublimed. And a lot of cores so that we can get the collaboration 5 Starwing Jara core for some extra CC chance, and that is the team. And we can take that into some PvE as well. That works pretty decently in PvE. We have Void Corruption 140 in Realmsgate here. Let's see what we can do against some forest teams at VC 140, and then we will do like a dark team and maybe some tower. I think that would be quite cool. You can see there's just a bunch of CC throwing around here. This one's already double CC'd. We even have Taunt. We have Taunt, Fear, Petrify, Freeze. We can Silence and we can Stun. So yeah, just very little chances that the enemy actually gets to attacking. Sometimes it happens, but it's not too common. As you can see, there's just like every possible CC on this crew. And yeah, they don't really do a lot of damage to us. Let's try that against Dark. Dark is notoriously difficult, so let's see if we can beat Dark with that. And then maybe we do some depth 15 tower, but not the entirety. Maybe just 2-3 stages or something along the lines of that. Honestly, that was already pretty bad attempt. I saw some better ones, but I think we will still win. So that is still rather fine. Sleepless Reviving here, and this Aspen is doing a ton of damage. That is really nice. Mainly bought that for Flame Shrine, but still dealing a lot of damage, and I think that was still a solid win, even though I tried it before and saw a better one, so that's something. Then let's go into the Tower of Oblivion, see what we can do against depth 15. Of course, no up heroes, or like not a lot of up heroes. But I just want to mainly show the team and how it works. Didn't try it against depth 15 before. Well, it will be quite interesting. Yeah, I think 140 is a little bit more difficult. The stunts though. Yeah, and the Aspen cleaning it up. I think I think Tower Depth 15 is not enough of a challenge for us to actually make this team worthwhile. But I think we got a decent chunk of content on this boy Valentino. And there are a lot of heroes that honestly deserve more of a place in the game. Like Valentino, he's just neglected, forgotten, something like this, but he has some cool facts, and the age could bring them back into the meta, and I sure hope they one day they do. And that is, at this point, a nice little thing that we can do in the comments. Maybe you have a hero too that you would want to see get a little bit of love from the age. Some older hero maybe, some underpowered hero, some hero that you think could get some changes. So write that in the comments, write what you want to have changed about him, and I always love to read stuff like this, so that will be quite interesting for me and maybe some other people too. And as a last thing, I want to thank you guys for actually subscribing to the channel. In one of the, I think it was a video like a week ago or something, I one time asked for people to subscribe to the channel, and I think to this day like over 100 people subscribed to the channel on this video alone. So that was quite insane and actually boosted the channel up quite a lot. So thank you guys for that, and thank you for subscribing. And as always, I wish you guys a great week, and we will see us in the next one.